As we know, post-testing has just happened just recently, a couple days ago, and we get to see our first look of Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. And I gotta say, he looks pretty good. Now, I'm making this video not as anything informative, but more of as that I am excited as an Aston Martin fan to see Fernando Alonso finally step in to an Aston Martin car. We've been knowing this since Vettel said that he was going to retire, that 3 days later, we ended up getting a contract that Fernando Alonso is joining Aston Martin and leaving Alpine. I was a big fan of this. I am an Aston Martin team fan, clearly, but I'm also a Fernando Alonso fan. Vettel was my favorite driver. My second favorite is Fernando. Regardless of them being rivals, I thought they had the best rivalry at the time, and they're my two favorite drivers to watch on the field. Fernando specifically, and Vettel, actually not specifically towards either, both of them are insane starters and love to overtake the whole entire field. And I always loved drivers like that. That's why I like Max Verstappen as well. I'm more of a Lewis fan, but I also like Max. Now, regardless of what I was saying though, the news for Fernando has been good. This guy has liked being in the AMR 2022 this week. He said that it was a good test. He said that he was at 90% when he signed. Then it changed to 100% when he saw the improvements in the car, and now it's 100 plus. That is a quote by the Alpha, Alonso himself. Now, he says that the car is going to look completely different in 2023, and I'm glad it will, because clearly this car has problems that the Red Bull doesn't, even though they look kind of similar. So, in the beginning of the season, Aston Martin was accused of copying those Red Bull side pods, but we ended up finding out that it was actually them who made them and had the concept a long time ago before actually developing it on the car, and had two concepts going into the 2022 season. Now, obviously the first concept they had didn't work. The second concept came. Since Spain, then on, they were advancing and always getting better and quicker and faster. Now, they had that crazy Baku performance, which was early on into the development of the car, and clearly maybe they went the wrong way for a couple of races, but then switched it back when they could set up the car a little bit better and got their qualifying pace up just the slightest bit to where they were actually able to get out of Q2 and sometimes say Q3 in races like Japan, Zandvoort, Circuit of the Americas. Really the last part of the calendar, with the exception of Mexico, were all Q3 potential for Aston Martin. Now, as an Alonso fan now who's here, I'm very excited to see that, because Alpine was consistently in Q3, and I would not like to see him downgrade now to go to a car that isn't hitting Q3. The field seems like it's going to be a lot closer next year. Aston put up their car with Alpine and McLaren, so can they keep up his progress? Can they do better? I think so. And I think with a guy like Alonso behind the wheel, who I think can genuinely outpace anybody in McLaren and anybody in Alpine. I think he can outpace
just fall within one place at a first pole in Formula One. Sights on.
He is confident with that Renault/Alpine car. He has been there now for a consistent 3 years, including the year with Ricardo, 2021 and 2022. So 3 years in that Renault, he got destroyed 2 years in a row by Fernando. When Fernando came, the car wasn't even made for him correctly in Alpine, and he said something was wrong with the steering. It took him time to actually develop that, and he still came back and got more points. If it wasn't for his DNFs this season, he would have more points than Ocon. He beat him in the races. He beat him in quali 90% of the time. The guy is still amazing. And Ocon, I rate as a solid driver, but I rate Fernando as a top. Top three. I would probably say a top three, and I would put that with Lewis, Verstappen, and him. And with Charles peaking towards the top. He is there. I want to see what he can do in a car that can fight at the top. I really want to see Aston actually implement those engineers that they've gone, implement Dan Follows, use the Mercedes and Red Bull engineers that they've brought in for the Aero. Really just make this team feel alive. They're an amazing car out in the real world, not as an F1 car. Now, let's make that amazing car in the real world an amazing F1 car. It's something that Fernando will bring the best out of this team. I genuinely believe so. And I think it will be amazing to see him in this insanely good-looking livery. I mean, like, I'll pop up a couple of images from the testing. This livery is just beautiful. It is a beautiful livery to look at, and I'm excited to see what they stir up for 2023. When they first put out the car, the AMRA, I was extremely happy with how that livery looked, but I want to see the B is just that much better. But in 2023, I feel like they're going to bring back this racing British green, which is the sexiest color on an F1 car. And just, I don't know. We'll see how the side pods look. We'll see how everything looks and what they actually end up getting out of the design. I'm excited to see what Aston Martin has up their sleeves, and I'm excited to see what Fernando can do. He talks about fighting for a title. He actually said that not next year probably, but the year after. That's good. That means that the Aston team is showing him some progress. You know him. He's a brutal guy. He'll say what he needs to say, but he's extremely happy with his move, and I am happy to see him in green. You guys let me know. What did you guys think of the stripped down Aston Martin and how it looked like with Alonso in the car, and what you think of Alonso being genuinely happy, because the second half of the season hasn't been really a happy one for himself, considering all those DNFs and the radio messages that we've heard. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Fernando? Because I know I am. Please leave a like, subscribe, and peace.